Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Guns and Guitars, and today we're going to be looking at the Olight Odin GL. It is the new green laser version of the quick detach rifle light by Olight. I'm Dan, this is Guns and Guitars, let's get started. For those of you who don't know what the Olight Odin is, it was a solution that Olight came up for those of us that requested to have a rifle light that was a quick detach so that we could use it for everyday carry purposes. And then when we needed it, we just lock it back in and we're good to go. I was really impressed with the original Odin, but I had requested that Olight come out with a smaller version, something that I would actually want to carry in my pocket, because this was a bit bulky. So then they came out with the Odin Mini, which I think was pretty much perfection. But what I absolutely love about Olight is that they are constantly changing and innovating. Now, they are hit and miss, not everything they put out is good, but here's an example of them taking another step forward. They have added a daylight bright green laser to Olight Odin. So for those of you who like laser sights, this green laser version is only like $20 more than the original Odin. So definitely worth the upgrade if you are a laser sight guy. Now that's a whole other topic of debate. I am honestly not really a laser sight type of guy, and this type of laser sight specifically kind of lends itself to some parallax issues at closer distances, right? Because the laser is so far from the bore of the rifle. Now you notice that I actually have this on a 12 gauge shotgun as opposed to a rifle, because I just don't see myself using a laser sight at long range, being that at close range it's going to have a parallax issue. I think that a shotgun is probably the best platform for a weapon laser like this. Now, before we get too much further into my opinion on the Olight Odin GL, let's talk more about the specs. Okay, it has the same amazing 1500 lumen output on the high setting as the original Odin did. And what's super cool, an upgrade that they made, is that they now have a 2-button remote pressure switch that's included with it. So the smaller button here runs it on low. That's only a 300 lumen output, and that's actually perfect for when something goes bump in the night, because if you were to run it on its full brightness setting, in addition to blinding your assailant, you'll probably also blind yourself, and that's not good for anyone carrying a gun, right? So having that little low button on there is really helpful for that. And what I love about the remote pressure switch is that both the low and the high settings are momentary switches. Unless you do a fast click, then the light stays on. Fast click again, it's off. Hold it down, momentary. Absolutely genius. The remote pressure switch also uses Olight's proprietary magnetic system, so it's easy to detach and quick detach if you need to take your rifle off your light really fast or put it back on really fast, or if you get hung up in some brush and need to clear your snag, it's really fast and easy. And of course, there is the new locking feature that they came up with specifically for the original Odin that works beautifully. Odin GL also comes with an MLock Rail attachment as opposed to a standard Picatinny rail attachment. That's good because I feel like MLock rails are far more popular these days than your typical quad rails or Picatinny rails. So I know that Olight's trying to save you some weight and bulk by being able to attach directly to your M-LOK handguard as opposed to needing a Picatinny rail adapter. The one beef that I have with that is that the pressure switch that comes with it requires a Picatinny rail to mount. So you have to end up using your 1913 adapter anyway so you can mount your pressure switch. It seems to me, Olight, that if you're going to ship these things with an M-LOK attachment for your light, you should do an M-LOK attachment for your pressure switch as well. Now personally, I would rather sacrifice a little bit of bulk and weight to get the Picatinny rail mount, because it's actually better in that it's a 4-position mount. The M-LOK mount is only 2 positions, so it can go forward and backwards, versus the Picatinny rail mount can go forwards and backwards and then off 90 degrees forwards and backwards. Just like most of Olight's combination lights and lasers, there are 3 settings for laser only, laser plus light, and light only. And the laser that's included on this is, I believe, their same daylight bright green laser that they've been putting on their Balder Pro. And it is very bright. In fact, for this specific rifle, I went ahead and dialed in my zero at about 20 yards in broad daylight, and I was able to see the green dot no problem as long as it was on a dark background. But you're not using a laser in broad daylight really anyway. Now, this new version of the MLock Rail also has 2 tiny set screws on it, and that's because the inherent flaw with a quick detach design is, in order for it to be quick to detach, it has to be able to slide freely when you're putting it on and off. Now, that necessary piece to slide freely equals kind of slop in your laser. And as you can see, I haven't tightened those down yet, so there is a little bit of play in the laser. Now, this is a 12 gauge shotgun. I'm not super concerned about the little bit that this thing can bounce around when I'm shooting it, but if you were to mount this on a rifle, once you have that in, you can crank down those set screws and then set your zero, and it should hold just fine. Just know that once you do that, it's no longer a quick detach weapon light, which in my opinion kind of defeats the whole purpose. Also on the M-LOK mount, same as the original Odin, you can twist it to lock it, and then you cannot remove the light. Now, personally me, I don't think that that's even necessary, because in all of my test firing, I've never had this thing come loose. So I leave it unlocked all the time. I also leave the pressure switch unlocked all the time, which some people will disagree with me on. But like I said, in all of my testing and evaluation of all of the Odin series of lights, I've never locked either the rail mount for the light or the pressure switch, and I've never had any come unlocked when I don't want it to. And of course, you guys already know my favorite feature of all Olight weapon lights is the proprietary magnetic charging cable. Okay, you can have this thing in your gun safe, and if you need it on a moment's notice, you don't even have to think twice about unplugging your cable. It will just automatically break away. If you have half a second, you can toss on your pressure switch and you're good to go. And if not, you can still use your thumb to activate the tail cap, and you can activate it same way as you would with a remote pressure switch. A light touch gives you the low setting, heavy touch gives you the bright setting, and if you hold it, it's momentary, and if you click it once, it stays on. So definitely an excellent, well thought out, intentional design, which is what I love about Olight. Like I said, not every single one of their lights that they come out with is a winner, but I think they're absolutely killing the competition right now because of their ability to innovate so quickly and put these things in our hands for an affordable price. So Olight GL on sale for their Christmas sale for the next 2 or 3 days. I believe they're going for like $146. The original Odin, I think $120 something. So like I said, if you need the laser, it's probably worth the extra 20 bucks. But my favorite Odin of all, the Odin Mini, which was developed at my request, is on sale for, I believe, $105. So that's the one that I would say go with. Still comes with the remote pressure switch and everything that you need. Plus it's small enough to be a flashlight that you might actually carry with you every day. Now, my last bit of criticism for the Odin GL comes with a sacrifice that was necessary to add the laser. So with the addition of the laser came the subtraction of the water resistance rating. Okay, the original Odin, IPX8, great for full water submersion. This one, IPX4, meaning that it's really just kind of weather resistant. Now you guys need to tell me if you think that that's a deal breaker or not, because my original Odin I had in mind to be sort of a nighttime hunting light, and with that I would want the best water resistance possible. Obviously with the laser, you guys might be thinking that this is going to be an indoor home defense sort of weapon light and laser combo, and if that's the case, then obviously you don't need as much weather resistance. So you guys tell me if you think that the trade for the laser is worth the trade for the water resistance rating. Now, I actually got the privilege of being a beta tester for the Odin GL, and as a result, even though this thing's been out for a very short amount of time, I've got to put a lot of rounds through it through various rifle calibers and pistol calibers. And this thing has been rock solid for me, but of course they didn't tell me about the IPX rating when they sent it to me to test. So when I offered to make a video to help promote their Christmas sale, I was very excited about it. And then when I learned about the IPX4 rating, I was honestly a little bit bummed. Like I mentioned earlier, this thing is available for a few days at a ridiculously low price of $146. I think it's gonna go up over $200 after that. And regardless of whether you're interested in picking up an Odin GL or not, definitely check the link in the description for Olight's Christmas sale, because nearly everything is marked 40% off. It's one of their biggest sales of the year. So if you've had your eyes on some other Olights, now's the time to buy. And I would appreciate it if you use my affiliate link, because then I will earn a commission on any purchases that you make. It doesn't cost you any more money, and I would really appreciate that. I wanna thank Olight for sponsoring this video and for sending me this weapon light. It's been awesome, and it's going to live on this shotgun and be at the ready anytime that I need it. I'm Dan, this is Guns and Guitars, and I'll see you in the next video.